Welcome to the July 28th, 2020 episode of Reactive Consciousness, the in-depth podcast about what happened this week in our lives. I'm your host, vysethebold, and this is...
Lotus Prince.
We are definitely sticking the landing today. No doubt about it, Lotus Prince.
This was perfection.
I mean, we were a day late on our own schedule, not on everybody else's, but our own schedule.
That's true.
But we stuck it.
Yeah, we used that day to practice for this very moment.
It was worth it. It was like My Fair Lady. Like you were yelling at me for my uncouth ways.
I will take your word on that.
Isn't that what My Fair Lady's all about? Is like correcting somebody's speech, like to make it sound like it's
was that the one
higher brow?
Oh, was that the one with the person who was like talking with a Cockney accent or whatever? Like, no,
yeah,
it's pronounced like this. Okay.
I would figure that you would actually know that more than I would, but apparently not.
I have seen I've seen one clip of that movie, and I don't think I realized that that's what the movie was.
See, I've never actually seen it, but I've just seen so many parodies of it, like on Family Guy and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I've just seen so many parodies of Rogers and Hammerstein or whatever.
Yeah, like this prim and proper guy. No, you have to say it like this, and then the person says all the words, but with her accent, like, oh no, it's a disaster, etc., etc.
The life of the wife is ended by the knife.
Yeah. The life of the wife, like, no.
But yeah, we have plenty of stuff to go over this week, so I am not going to dilly-dally or saunter. I'm going to march headlong into this.
You're going to canter.
Yes. Or maybe recant. No, we haven't canted yet.
Yeah, that's come on.
That's right out.
That's
okay.
such a rookie mistake.
or maybe it's on Kashyyyk. It's a Wookiee mistake.
Oof. Maybe we'll celebrate Life Day.
No, we won't. My favorite clip, my favorite thing about the Christmas special, the Star Wars Christmas special, is that like Conan O'Brien had like a clip of it like on his show, when he was doing late night, like years ago. And he had obviously gotten a hold of like the bootleg or whatever,
Well, yeah, because there's no such thing as the official copy.
Yeah, exactly. And he showed a clip of it to Harrison Ford, and he's like,
"Oh no!"
Yeah. He's just like, "You remember doing that?" And Harrison Ford just goes, "No."
That's great.
He was like obviously like disturbed by it.
Yeah. My favorite is still like that person. So did you or did Greedo shoot first? I don't care. It's like the funniest thing.
He doesn't.
He does not.
So anyway, did you ever see that one where the guy like put together like the really detailed like Lego model of the Millennium Falcon? He's like, Harrison Ford, and then like Harrison Ford just like falls on it.
Oh God.
He's like, oh, sorry.
That's amazing.
But anyway, there was a lot of really cool stuff this week, actually. Probably the biggest news, and this is at the top of the heap, was that there was a big Xbox event where they finally revealed some of the games for the new Xbox Series X platform. So, and there's some really good stuff in here. I normally... Like, Xbox is my lowest priority, and, like, I'm the only one out of all of our friends that I know of that even has one, has an Xbox One, but the Series X looks to be a lot more attractive to me than the previous one, but most of all because, like, it plays everything that the previous one does, so, like, everything. So it's completely backwards compatible, including the backwards compatible titles, which is like the best part.
So I could finally play that Buffy game for the original Xbox on the Xbox One X.
Is that on the list of games that's?
Oh, I actually
compatible?
don't know. I just know that that is an original Xbox game.
No, I don't think so. I don't think any real like licensed
I guess I'll have to
titles
settle
like
for Dinotopia then.
No, I don't. I don't even think like the best stuff is like like Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2, the Prince of Persia
Dinotopia.
games. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Prince of
But
Persia, cool. I could play OG Sega Genesis, like Apple Mac Prince of Persia on the Xbox One X.
actually, if you put in a copy of Sands of Time, it has
That's what I'm
the
saying.
original
Yeah.
Apple II.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could play an older game that itself has an older game.
Yep, yep. I think it even has Prince of Persia 2 on there, like the old Apple II version, which
Oh wow.
I think that's the only port of that in the modern era.
Yeah, I don't even know if I
Uh,
had heard of that.
yeah, there is a port of it on the Super Nintendo, I think, but anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so the biggest thing they showed there, and rightfully so, is Halo Infinite. Did you see anything about this, or did you hear anything?
I heard because like I don't care. The
Sure.
main thing I heard was that the graphics of Halo Infinite were apparently not up to gamers' standards. I guess. Like it's like
Well,
it looks like a cool Halo game, but it doesn't wow me. You know.
so actually, they're deceptively good. They did like an analysis on them. It's just that like in the lighting that they had them,
Oh,
it was just like hard to tell,
you like
or
flat lighting or
like
something.
well, the artistic decision, like they kind of have this like look that you remember in like Rogue One how they made like all of the Star Wars spaceships look. They made them look like they were models instead of like CG.
Oh, that's
You
kind
know
of
what I mean?
amusing. Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So like they artistically
So everything in
make
Infinite
them
was
look.
T-posed, and you're like, oh, it's like those old computer models.
But yeah, no, like it's cool stuff. It's actually an open-ended game, like an open world game. Kind of like I'm guessing it's gonna be kind of like Gears 5 was. In that way, and that's a good move for the series because it's gone on the rails the entire time. So they need kind of an evolution to bring it forward. I was a big Halo fan back in the day. Me and my friends had LAN parties at my house, like when the first one came out, and when the second one came out, I was an early adopter. I played it, and I played on Xbox Live and all that stuff. But I have since kind of I've fallen off. I played a little bit of 3 when that came out, and then that was that. But it's always been a series that's been close to my heart and like my friend's heart, and every once in a while we go back and revisit the original game because the multiplayer was so much fun. But I'm certainly willing to take a look at this game, so I'm reasonably excited about that. But the other
I'm
stuff
still
is
waiting for Oni 2. Okay.
Oni 2. What? Like the Bungie
Yeah.
game on PS2.
When is Bungie
Wow.
gonna come back and do Oni 2?
Oh, when are you gonna have Myth 2
Oh God.
what's the other one? Their first person shooter.
I don't remember.
Uh,
Like that was it like the Apple only game or something?
yeah. It's actually really good. I just forget the name of it. But anyway, yeah, I really like Bungie's stuff, but this isn't Bungie. This
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
434 Games, but that's really cool. The next thing they showed that was pretty cool was Tetris Effect is going to have an Xbox exclusive multiplayer mode. Called Tetris Effect Connected. So Tetris Effect is the one that's made by Mizuguchi, the guy who made Rez and Space Channel 5.
Yeah, do you think it's gonna be like what he did with Xbox 360 Res, where Tetris Effect, you could put like controllers all over yourself and vibrate them?
Oh, if there's an opportunity to do that, he certainly will do it.
Just cover yourself in controllers. Yes, it's mine.
Trans vibrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tetris Effect it came out to heavy acclaim when it came out, especially if you were a VR user on PS4 or PC. It's basically like one of the best versions of Tetris that's ever been made. It's more of a sensory experience in addition to Tetris, and Tetris is like the perfect thing to do that with. So it's really cool, and it's named after, of course, the effect of seeing Tetris blocks after if you played Tetris for a very long time. in your head, you start seeing Tetris blocks. I've experienced it myself after when I was heavy into playing it on Tetris DS in particular. But
And then you started shoving your friends next to each other, seeing if you could make a row. No, you fool! We'll disappear.
And then they got in a row.
Yeah.
And then, boy.
And now their torsos are gone.
Water.
Yeah.
Then they also showed a new game by Rare. Rare is not what it was, when it was a what you loved about them.
Perfect Dark 02.
No, Everwild is their new game. It looks pretty cool. It actually looks very beautiful. It has like a lot of like lighting effects and things like that. It looks like a really nice game and has a very cool artistic style. Kind of has like an East Asian feel to it. Looks really neat and very cinematic. Actually, this looks pretty cool. But who knows? I don't think they showed any gameplay really, so I don't know what it's going to be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm always a little leery when you have these giant cinematic movie trailers that don't actually show you anything.
They always do that.
Like Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like, wow, cool. I don't know anything about the game.
It'll come out and
see you in 2030 when they release another teaser that gets scrapped. It's like it's Beyond Good and Evil forever. Like the game's gonna look nothing like what we thought it would be.
Yeah, exactly. And this was a huge surprise. Square Enix is working with Yuji Naka on Balan Wonderland. So this is by the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog and Nights into Dreams, of course. And it looks very nice. You should take a look at this trailer. It's very nice.
Do we get just weird bullshit Sonic the Hedgehog plots in a Night style game?
What do you mean?
Like Sonic plots have gotten fucking stupid, even though the gameplay is pretty cool.
Yuji Naka has nothing to do with that shit. Yuji Naka has nothing to do with that shit.
Okay.
Yuji Naka has not been involved in a Sonic game in a very long time.
Fair enough.
He every once in a while, consults on things. But anyway, it very much looks like if in the modern era you took the on-foot weird 3D sections of Nights when you're on the ground.
Yeah, when you're on the ground for 5 seconds and you're let me go back to flight mode.
Yeah, it kind of still reminds you of that though, even though it obviously looks and controls a lot better. But you take on different forms to help you through the platforming. Like you could turn into a fire hydrant. It looks like to have certain powers, and it looks like a lot of fun. Certainly looks a lot more impressive than his last Nights into Dreams successor, which was called Rodea Sky Soldier, which was a pretty alright game, but it was a little underwhelming. But this has some money behind it. It looks like.
Sure.
So those were the main things at the Xbox presentation that they had, but this is actually going to be on multiple consoles, this one in particular. And then outside of the Xbox event, there were a ton of other spiritual successors in the news, like crazy stuff, stuff that you wouldn't even think about. Getting spiritual successors, so I was super happy about this. So the first one was Bomb Rush Cyberfunk.
Yeah, not Cyberpunk, Cyberfunk.
That is going to be made by the people who have made the Lethal League games. It was Team Reptile, I think is what they're called. But yeah, this is going to be the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, which is insane. Do you think they're going to get Charles Martinet back?
I very much doubt it, but you know who they did get back? Hideki Naganuma.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
Is essential. So if you look at this game, it looks like a brand new Jet Set Radio game. It looks the part, and it wears all of the references on the sleeve. There isn't any like inline skating, but everything else is there. The grinding, the graffiti art, the cell shading, the music. Obviously, Hideki Naganuma is doing the music. I kind of joked way back when he said that he had a scheduling conflict and could no longer contribute to like Streets of Rage 4. That it's like maybe it's a new Jet Set Radio. That's like
kind of. Yeah.
And get this, if you go to the Steam landing page for this, it says the sound card Naganuma compatible.
So what does that mean? It has like old timey like radio voices as part of the music.
Need a hotline. But I am super amped for this. It looks great. Looks like it controls well, which will be better than the first or the Dreamcast version of Jet Set Radio. It was never the best controlling. It got better when the remake or the HD remaster came out, and of course the second game, Jet Set Radio Future, controlled a lot better. But this looks great, and like Hideki Naganuma is like been shit posting about it. He's just like, this is what Sega fans want, and like all this other stuff is funny. He is the best shit poster on the internet. It's like Family Guy memes mixed with like Jet Grind Radio all the time.
That is the weirdest thing to me.
He loves Family Guy, and he also like revels in the fact that like all of his fans are not where he lives. Like all of his fans are English speaking, and like
I mean his game like
Japanese fans.
You're in various Japanese cities and everything, but it's very like American punk aesthetic.
Yeah, like graffiti art is basically an American invention, and that went elsewhere.
I mean Japan has its fair share, but I just picture it like in like New York City 80s
70s
movies.
New York, yeah, early 80s 70s New York. It was the place for spray painted architecture, but just I am so like overjoyed with it, and they said that this is coming to multiple platforms. It's not just PC. So Team Reptile. That's right. And they previously worked with him on Lethal League. He's part of the soundtrack. So of that game. So really cool stuff. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. And then the next spiritual successor was like, holy crap.
Yeah, this was out of nowhere.
Yeah, you know a bit about this one. I'll let you take the reins.
I mean, a little bit, but basically there's a new game whose Kickstarter launched just now and has already been funded. It was funded in like 3 hours, so we still got like a month to fund it some more.
Yeah, and all the consoles got hit too, I think.
So it's called like Eiyudan or Eiyudan Chronicle, which is a spiritual successor to Suikoden in general, and a lot of former Suikoden devs are working on it. And not just Suikoden 1, so like funny. This guy contributed to Suikoden 1, this person here contributed to Suikoden 4, and stuff like that. There's a ton of various Suikoden team members working on this game, so people are hyped.
I just find that hilarious because like all of Konami's devs like split off and basically.
I was thinking that Konami's not keeping any of its series alive, so fuck you. We're gonna make a not Castlevania, a not Suikoden,
exactly.
And people are gonna buy it
Bloodstained
because they
is
want
great
more
too.
fucking games.
Like they did a great job with Bloodstained. Bloodstained was amazing. So
and like Suikoden in particular, like that series died on the PS2. There was like a DS game as well. And I think there were a couple of card-style games in Japan. I don't know what systems they were on. Maybe, like, also handhelds or something. But Suikoden only in America went as far as the PS2 with Suikoden 5, and then Terror Crease on DS. So that's 7 games. That's solid. And I think there might be 9 or 10 in total if you have Japan's. And then
they
that's
really should release a collection, because like there aren't that many games. What, there's 6
Well, they released
main
1
games,
through
right?
4 on PSN at least.
Yeah, but you need a PS3 to play them, right?
Yes.
You're not a PS4. And
one thing that really does bug me, by the way, is bugs. Like Suikoden 2 is buggy as shit. Like in the American version, I think the PAL
Really?
yeah, like I think the PAL version is fixed, but there are missing like there are cases where music should play and doesn't. Like the first time you have an army battle, there's just no music and it's really weird because it's a
Oh, wow.
significant event. And somebody in the comment section told me that there's a part where some NPC sings, and it's PS1, so it's not real
Sure.
singing, but you still can't hear it.
Synthesized. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think there's something over the credits that doesn't play. And there's one thing actually lets you like sequence break the game a bit. There's this one, like you could push objects in the game. Like I mean, it's very obvious when you're able to push them, like big boxes or whatever. But there's this one gate to a town where a guard's like, "Sir, you can't go in," and you can just fucking push the gate, like just the sprite, just push it out of the way, and it makes no sense. You're like, what? You just do that? It's kind of a riot. That's the one good glitch. It lets you like way over level way early, but there's missing music. There's like a more famous glitch where if you you can import save data from Suikoden 1, including the name of your hero, but like I think the game understands capital letters and then like overrides lowercase letters or something like
Weird.
that. So like
Yeah.
your character's canonical name is Tir McDole, and if you call yourself the canonical name like capital T lowercase ir, it'll like eat the IR and overwrite the M, and you'll be called like Tickdole, and it's like what the fuck. So you have to name yourself like all lowercase to get around it. Like it's fucking stupid. Like again, I think the European version fixes this stuff, but the American version, like it's considered one of the greatest JRPGs like ever,
Yeah.
and it's fucking broken. Like and because of Japan's rule about how you can't modify PS1 titles, you know how they had to run through all those
Sure.
or jump through all those hoops to reacquire the licensing rights for like the Mega Man Legends games for like brand names.
Sure.
So like Suikoden 2 on PSN is still fucking broken because that's how it was. So it's like have fun. So you
The
gotta
funny thing about that is they could have released the PAL version because they ended up doing that with VibRibbon. They put the PAL version of VibRibbon on
well
American PSN.
Well, if they can do that, then actually, for all I know, maybe they did for PSN. I
Okay.
haven't tried it. If they did, then we're good, I guess. But otherwise, somebody has, like a hack that you can download, like the unglitched version. You can
Yeah.
torrent if you want to emulate it, or I'm kind of debating just putting that on PSIO and just playing it because I own the fucking
Yeah,
game. I might as well
I
play
don't
the
blame
working
you.
version. But my PS1 keeps resetting on me, so I don't know. We'll see. I might just stick with the disc. I don't know. Fuck it.
Yeah, you know what? This is why I like retro gaming like right now,
Yeah.
and on like FPGA systems and stuff like that because like if I'm gonna play like a Sega CD game right now, like let's say I want to play like Lunar, like the original Lunar, they have like a version that they hack together that like takes away the stupid crap that working designs did back in the day that like fucked up the game.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they did
yeah.
a good localization for the time, but they also like messed with like difficulty and values and all that crap, and they
Yeah.
ruined certain games are like almost unplayable that they did, and they uh if I'm gonna play a version, I'm gonna play the fixed version. So like,
Yeah.
why do I need like an expensive copy of Pop Full Mail? Like if there's a fixed version out there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I forgot that was working. I guess
Yeah.
just even the art, like the style of the cover, just I mean I know the Japanese art is whoever did the Japanese art, but like the style of the cover of the game it does kind of just have a look about it, like the Lunar look, like the working
Yeah.
designs, like maybe it's the logo or something. I don't know.
Well, they kind of like did like a holographic kind of look on all those games from the
Yeah,
Sega CD,
yeah.
so it kind of all like has like a house style like to
Okay.
at least the logos. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe not necessarily the art because the art was Game Arts was Lunar and then
Yeah.
Popful Mail was Falcom, right? So
Now go and buy 3 copies of Dragon Force. You can have all 3 discs with the disc art.
There's like 5 of them.
Are there?
Crazy, yeah.
It's like,
Good luck.
Come on.
Magic Knight Rayearth, I think, had 3.
I don't think they actually expected anybody to go for all the versions,
No.
but like, come on.
Yeah, they were weird. Well, I mean, like, you got to give them credit for pioneering a certain style and like, and also championing like certain games that wouldn't be able to come over otherwise. But like they did some things that were unexcusable and like ruining whole games. Like Exile 2 on the PC Engine is like basically unbeatable.
Oh, you had mentioned that to me before, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Eiyudan Chronicle. People are flipping out, and it looks like it has the style, like just the aesthetic of Suikoden, and people are losing their minds over this. Like, again, it's been like, how long by now? Like 15 years?
15 years,
longer?
yeah. Easily. Yeah.
So even though I've only just started getting into the Suikoden games, like I'm like 3 or 4 hours into Suikoden 2. It's not that far. Like I'm very excited.
The first game wasn't that long, was it?
The first game
probably what, about like 20 to 30 hours?
Yeah, like 30ish maybe if you go for everybody. Like I mean level 99 nobody's doing that.
Of course you're going to go for everybody. You're gonna go for all the Stars of Destiny.
Yeah, the reward is absolutely worth it. But so like it's 30 something. Suikoden 2, I believe, like from howlongtobeat.com, it is apparently longer, but this game looks like it's gonna be freaking crazy. Like I keep hearing from people who know about the game, like, oh, you like what you see so far? Just wait till it really gets going. Like, oh my god, like I'm excited.
Yeah, this is one of those games like the first 2 Suikodens. I'm thinking about playing on the Vita because I have them from PSN.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I don't know. I mean, just go ahead and Google what the transfer is, but there is transfer from 2 to 3 if you feel like playing 3.
Yeah, it's very minor though.
Okay, and to be fair, I do hear also minor. That 3 is like, I mean, well, 2 is the highest of the series, so anything is a step down. But I hear that 3 is like, okay. But yeah,
well, 3's okay, 4's not that great, and then 5 is back. Apparently
apparently 5 really comes back. But all I can tell you,
and Tactics is like a sequel to 4, I think. So.
Yeah, it comes after 4, but I think there's transfer data too. But all I can tell you is that the villain of Suikoden 2, he is very quickly living up to his reputation of one of the worst, like most notorious like video game villains I've seen in a while. He is a piece of shit.
Wow. Well, moving on from, I'm certainly excited about that.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, apparently there was a Steins tease that's been going around recently on Japanese Twitter. Apparently there is a Japanese Twitter that was opened up that has been posting like warnings about time travel or something like that, and it's very obviously like a teaser account. But no, there hasn't been any like real reveal of anything other than that it's Steins Gate related. It's also like the name of the account is John Titor, which is also like a time traveling like internet meme from back in the day.
Well, it is, but Steins Gate directly refers to that as well. Like that's
really
that's established early on. Yeah, like they talk about them.
Oh, okay.
That's how they segue into
it's dangerous to go alone guy. Is that the same thing, or is it?
I don't know if that was the guy. I could be remembering this wrong.
It's like same era of internet humor.
Yeah, maybe, but let me see. But I'm reasonably sure that Steins Gate, like at least the anime series, references it.
Oh, this is the guy who claimed that he was like from the future and he like predicted a few things and then he disappeared.
The safety is not guaranteed guy was like just some fucking weirdo.
Yeah, no, this safety not guaranteed guy I think was just wrote something funny in the classifieds to get people's attention.
Yeah. No, John Titor like I mean, I don't remember if he was a character in Steins Gate, but they definitely know about him and talk about him.
I think he was like on Reddit or something similar to Reddit at the time. But anyway, Yeah, but apparently there's a teaser going around. And it's like the 10th anniversary of Steins Gate. So
Oh,
yeah, so they're it's kind of like um, a an anniversary of sorts. So um, also, I wanted to mention this as well because this is part of like the same company, but Danganronpa is now going to be published under Spike Chunsoft directly.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there was a little bit of a like not a panic, but there was definitely some discomfort when all of a sudden it got like taken off of I think it was like Vita's or I don't know some of the online networks or whatever. And it's like, what does this mean?
It
But
was just an
like,
update. Yeah.
well, that's the thing. It's like this is like one of the most popular visual novels in the West. It's one of the things that brought people into the. And I know it's not a pure visual novel, but it's one of the thing like that
Sure.
and Ace Attorney really got people like actually willing to pay attention to visual novels in the West. Like they're not going to remove like the most popular one, and sure enough, like it's a Spike Chunsoft game, but it was distributed by Nisa, so now it's straight up Spike Chunsoft.
Well, Spike Chunsoft didn't have a publishing arm in the West until recently,
Yeah,
last
yeah.
like 2 years or so. So and they are the fine purveyors of all the best visual novels, like the Steins Gate series, the science adventure series,
Yeah, the Nonary games, I
um,
believe.
the Nonary games as well. So like all the big ones except for Ace Attorney, really.
Yeah, Ace Attorney was
So
what, Capcom?
is it that's a Capcom property,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, duh.
but
He's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
yeah. But yeah, this is a good thing. They have direct control over their own property,
Oh,
so
and by
that's
the
a
way,
good thing.
Spike Chunsoft also did 428 Shibuya Scramble, which is
Oh yeah,
hands down I mean, not that I've played so many visual novels, but it is like just far above and beyond like the best VN I've ever played, like by a long shot. It's incredible.
yeah. Spike Chunsoft is really awesome. I mean, they're also the makers of the Sheer and the Wanderer series, and
Hmm.
they also were the original creators of Dragon Quest. So
And I think they
or
also did well, Dragon Quest was what, like just Chunsoft?
oh yeah, back in the day,
Yeah, and
yeah, when
I
it was
think they
Chunsoft.
also did Zanki Zero, that like that visual
Hmm.
novel that like kind of
Sure.
came and went. Like if you missed it, you missed it.
But apparently that's really good. You can go back to it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's good. Like they haven't disappointed me yet.
yeah. No, they're ace.
Yeah,
They're
I
really
hear like
good.
the most disappointing thing was like Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, and even that's like all
That's
right.
still pretty alright. Yeah.
Yeah,
Moving on from that, this there was a this was a pretty surprising teaser. G4 and XPlay
yeah,
put
that
out
was weird.
a tweet that tweeted a teaser trailer for a return. So apparently XPlay is coming back, probably an online version of XPlay, and G4 as a brand. So that's pretty cool. No details or anything like that. Just the only detail is that XPlay is going to be the thing that they're leading with. It seems.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Attack of the Show back in the day. I really love Attack of the Show. It was basically like the Daily Nerd News. It had Olivia Munn on it there before she was like an actress. So like it was really cool. But XPlay was known for Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler. That was their review show back in the day. So I always enjoyed it. It was definitely of the era. Like early aughts kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I used to watch it back in college. I'll welcome it, especially if it's Adam Sessler. Adam Sessler's like a good face of the brand. So I can't imagine they would try to revive it with somebody completely new. It just like why.
Yeah, yeah.
So moving on from that, some news from Devolver Digital. A couple things. Their newest game Carrion got released, and
Yeah.
apparently everybody really loves it.
It's a clever
I'm
concept. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of games where there's some otherworldly horror and you cannot grasp its true form and it absorbs everything in its path. Well, you are that. You're the otherworldly horror.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It also looks beautiful. It has that like um another world or out of this world look, like that rotoscoped,
Yeah.
real smooth look.
How do you think they? Do you think they got an actual otherworldly being to like make movements for them so they could
Oh yeah,
record the movements accurately, like in Prince of Persia?
yeah. It was a union job for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
It's like the Lovecraft story Pikmin's model. You ever read that one?
No, I didn't
Oh,
read
it's
that one.
great because there's this artist called Pikmin, who just paints all these creepy Lovecraftian horror looking things, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what a genius! What a weird abstract mind! How do you come up with this shit?" And it turns out he doesn't. Like there are just otherworldly horrors that
They just appear.
they just pose for him and he paints them.
Oh
that like
wow.
that's it. Like it's like, oh, that shit's
Oh,
real.
that's very Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
It's like,
But it's almost
uh,
like that's about, I don't think it was supposed to be a humorous story, but like it's just kind of funny
just
to
comes
me
across
that
that way.
that's about as lighthearted as Lovecraft gets. Like nobody fucking dies. It's just like, nah, he's got a model
That's
and
very
it's a
Stephen
weird fucking
King.
yeah.
Like Stephen King would write something like that, like in like Late Shift or Night
Yeah,
Shift,
Nightmares
like
and
in his short
Dreamscapes or
story.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like one of his short story books.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a very like Lawnmower Man's kind of like that. Like just something weird happens and then the end.
Yeah,
Like
that was a man. That story was weird. The
yeah,
fuck
and then
was
they
that?
made a movie. They made a movie about it that has nothing to do with it.
Well, yeah,
Like
they did not
absolutely
make a
nothing.
movie about it. What a coincidence that it was called Lawnmower Man. I guess a
And
lawnmower
then they
is
made
in
a
the
sequel
movie.
to that had even less to do with it.
Yeah,
Um,
that starred Max Headroom. The fuck?
I think Pierce Brosnan was in the first one, something like that.
What?
Does that sound right?
I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
we
not
should
gonna
play
go
the
back and watch
Sega
this.
Genesis game to find out.
I will not.
Yeah.
And another one of the games that showed up in Devolver Digital's digital showcase, Fall Guys is they announced is going to be free at launch for PS Plus users, which is really neat.
Yeah.
Especially considering this is like a massively multiplayer game where you try to get through a big gauntlet and see who wins.
Yeah.
That's like a really cool concept, like to give like all of your subscribers access to it. Like there will be a ton of people in that, just kind of like Rocket League. Happened to Rocket League. Rocket League became successful mainly because at launch they were a PS Plus free item.
Well, sure. You might as
So
well just like get into people's minds and like get them to play when they might not have otherwise, and then word
yeah.
spreads and explodes.
Well, the funny thing about Rocket League is it's a hugely really successful, very popular game. It is a spiritual successor to a game that they released on like Xbox Live a long time ago. It's basically the same thing, but with worse graphics, and
Huh.
it doesn't have the name. But they changed it to changed the name to Rocket League and put it for free on PS Plus, and nobody played the original game. Nobody,
Huh.
because you have to. There's a barrier to entry, and
Yep.
who knows who's going to be playing it at the time. And now, Rocket League is free to play on Epic Game Store, I think, exclusively. Has it for now on. Like if you already have it on Steam, you can continue to get updates there, but you can't like download it. Like if you've never downloaded it before, that kind of thing. But it's still really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing the fun like craziness of this game because there's like so many people on screen at once trying to like avoid things, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of chaos. Moving on from that, I just wanted to throw this out there. There was a new Arcade Archives title, a game called Kutetsu Yusai Strawl, which is a shmup that's never been ported and never came to the United States to begin with. That's actually a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It has like a rotating gun mechanic that's pretty neat, and it's by UPL, which is a company that doesn't get a whole lot of love. So I just kind of wanted to mention that real quick because it's a nice treat to get something that you didn't know existed from that time period. That like 16-bit, like mid 90s, early 90s era of shmups is always was always my favorite. So it's cool when I never knew this game existed, and I downloaded it, and it's a lot of fun. It's actually really cool. Even amongst shmup fans, like, nobody talks about this game, so it was pretty cool. And going along with that, one of the my favorite shmups to come out in recent memory, Crimson Clover. It's called Crimson Clover World Ignition on Steam, but World Explosion was announced for Switch. People have been wanting this game on Switch for a long time. It plays similarly to a cave game, but it's a lot more accessible, and it's a lot of fun. If you want to get into shmups, this is one of the best games to get into them, because it's not ridiculously hard. You can make it that way, but the defaults are not that way. And it's a lot of fun, and the mechanics are easy to grasp. It's just around one of the best shmups ever made. It's really, really good, and I'm really glad that it's coming out on Switch, because it originally started off as a Dojin title for the PC, and now it's like a big thing. Shmup fans love it. Moving on from this, did you see the news from this, the fallout from this? Dragon Quest 11
I knew that it was coming, yeah.
So, on face value, Dragon Quest 11S coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC was great news.
Yeah. So what does the S stand for again?
S is Switch.
Oh, okay, interesting. Just
but I think it's actually superior, but it's
yeah. Well, it is now.
yeah, but
it's like Zombie U. What is it called on PS4?
Zombie.
Just Zombie.
Well, there's more of a history to that than you realize. Ubisoft's original game was called Zombie.
Yeah, which is why it's weird that the new one is called Zombie.
Well, it's a spiritual successor to it or whatever. It was also a adaptation of Dawn of the Dead, George A. Romero's.
Oh yeah,
Dawn
I'm aware.
of the Dead. Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying is, it's called Zombie U. You can't call it U on something other than the Wii U. So now what do? You get rid of the U. So for S is for Switch. No. It's superior. That's what I always meant the first time.
But you could still call it Clay Fighter 63 1/3. I mean, come on.
Well, that's because it's not ported to anything else.
But on the surface level, this was good news. I mean, Dragon Quest XI is a fantastic RPG. It will go down as one of the best RPGs of all time. It is excellent. It's very, very good. They released a version of it for Switch that is even better than the original version. So they included a lot more content, something like 15 to 20 hours more content, and a 2D mode and all that kind of stuff. The graphics take a bit of a hit, but not significantly so. And
I saw you play it. It looked pretty gorgeous.
It's a good-looking game to begin with, because the art direction and the performance is actually still really good. So it's just, if you put it side by side, you could tell that there's a resolution dip, but it's a good-looking game to begin with. You're not going to notice it too much. Well, so therefore, everybody who had bought the original version of the game was kind of SOL. It kind of stinks, because any early adopter that was I'm going to play this game right away because I love Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you don't buy games when they come out. Wait till they're fucking finished.
Well, if everybody followed that rule, we wouldn't have any games.
No, I know, but whatever. I'll go follow that rule. I'll buy Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition when it's $25.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this version of the game had been announced. People knew about it when the PS4 version came out. At least they told people, hey, if you wait for the Switch version, it's gonna have extra stuff. So wait for it if that's the version you want to play. That kind of thing. But yeah, so this version is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. You have to rebuy the game if you have the original version. It's not a patch or an update.
Well, do they at least
DLC.
forgive? Because when Dark Souls Remastered came out for the PC, if you had already owned Dark Souls on PC, then they gave you a pretty hefty discount.
Oh, I don't know about the discount. Most of the time on
Because
I'm gonna
if you
say
have to pay full
probably not.
price again, then that's some bullshit.
I'm gonna say probably not. Also, this is the big like caveat. Not
Save
not not
save data won't transfer.
well that too. But the big thing is that it is a port of the Switch version of the game in every way.
Oh,
So
so you don't even
resolution,
maintain the resolution of the original
correct,
version?
correct.
Oh, what the fuck, man? What are you doing?
Exactly. So that was the fallout. It is a Switch game through and through, so therefore you don't get a performance boost for playing it on better hardware or anything. So if you own a Switch, still buy that version because
Yeah, I guess.
at
Yeah.
least your portability out of it. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's bad news,
disappointing.
man.
It's very disappointing.
I mean, it's cool that you get the version, but like when they port it to the Switch, they're able to make it work. Why can't they just, like apply the Switch's content to the other, the
Yeah.
original other versions?
Yeah, and this is particularly sad if one of the major shortcomings of the original game is not just the content, but the music was all MIDI in the original version, and they added orchestral music, which is beautiful in the Switch version.
Well, it was like Dragon
Uh,
Quest VIII, yeah. Like that was the first Dragon Quest game I ever saw too. So I was like, this music's
yeah.
gorgeous, and I didn't realize that in the modern era they're still doing this MIDI bullshit. Like I know it's a callback, but like, come on. You're
Well,
playing on
no,
PS4 and it's MIDI
y
only.
you know what it is that
No,
the
I
guy
know
who
why.
does
I
the
know why. It's
music,
the composer, but like,
yeah,
what are you
he just
doing? Yeah,
is aping everybody for all they're worth. So yeah, disappointing, but at least it is a thing if you want to play it.
yeah.
Um, just be aware of what you're buying. Um, Also, Vanillaware announced actually, Atlas announced that they are publishing Vanillaware's 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim in North America on September 22nd for PS4. I am very excited for this. Vanillaware is, of course, the developer of fantastic, awesome-looking and playing games like
Yeah.
Odin Sphere, Dragon's
Muramasa.
Crown, Muramasa. Dragon's Crown's probably their most popular title.
Yeah, yeah.
And Odin Sphere, but yeah, and Grim Grimoire was another one that they
Oh
did.
yeah, they did do that, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking game. It's headed by George Kamitani, who worked on the Dungeons and Dragons beat 'em ups for Capcom back in
Yeah.
the day. So very much looking forward to this. This game has been in Japan for a long time, so we're finally getting it. So I'm very happy. One thing, Vanillaware's original title that was on the Saturn, which was called Princess Crown, which Odin Sphere
Yeah.
is kind of like a spiritual successor of, got a PS4 port in Japan that was a pre-order bonus for 13 Sentinels in Japan. I'm wondering whether they're doing the same thing. They haven't mentioned it, but that would be the first time Princess Crown was available in English in
Yeah.
any form. I think they're working on a fan translation right now, but it's not complete. So I would be very happy if they did that. Moving on from that, just a couple little amiibo announcements. On September 25th, Joker and Hero amiibos will be released. I'm excited, especially for Hero, but I know plenty of people that will be out there for Joker, and that's Hero, the protagonist of
Yeah,
the
Dragon Quest.
luminary protagonist of Dragon Quest XI. Uh, I would be very surprised if they didn't come out with special limited edition other protagonists of Dragon Quest at some point. Also, Deadly Premonition 2 recently got patched for performance, and there was some contention about the way a trans character was handled in the game.
Yeah, Swery
And
did
Swery,
publicly apologize on Twitter about that.
yeah, he did not mean offense. He likened it to his his lack of English skills.
Yeah.
But also, it's hard sometimes for people that don't know about trans issues, given the benefit of the doubt to be sensitive on the topic, especially with dead naming, which is what
that's what I heard.
this
It happened in
concerned.
the game.
I mean, it seemed like he was well intentioned, but he also did not want to hurt anybody's feelings, so he altered the scene for the better, apparently, and so that's a great thing. If you make a mistake, just fix it. He meant no harm, and has even had very positive portrayals of trans characters in the past. In fact, with Missing is like one of the games that's heralded for that. So that was his last game. So he just ignorance not in the bad way, but just didn't know how to say what he wanted to say correctly. Moving on from that, there was a big announcement from Analogue today that basically made a lot of people mad. Which Analogue has been doing lately. Analogue is the FPGA console manufacturer that puts out some really great FPGA consoles. First of all, they've
done the
really,
NT
really
Mini,
good.
the Super NT, the Mega SG. So the HDMI basically HD versions of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the Mega Drive in particular is like chef's kiss. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. The Super Nintendo one's really awesome too.
Yes.
And the newest version, we talked about how they screwed up the newest version of the NT Mini, just like with their communication. Their communication.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the newest
poor.
version of the NT Mini is better than ever, but their communication's pretty awful.
So the Analog Pocket was announced over a year ago, and they hadn't said anything on it since, and that, but in itself, it makes people worried. Also,
at the same time, though, they have an MO of not communicating. Like, we're gonna do something, and then it'll be done when it's done. So it's like, it's not even worrying anymore. It's just kind of irritating.
Yeah, but in particular, this one was a lot of people were really excited about it because, first of all, it's the first mainstream FPGA
handheld
portable console. I think it's the only one.
It covers the Game Boy stuff, like insane weird stuff, like the Neo Geo Pocket Color and the Atari Lynx.
Yeah, and the Game Gear.
That's right, the Game Gear as well.
Yeah, so a whole bunch of the most prominent pocket consoles of that era. So they released the final design of the system. They kind of made
you can pre-order it now.
No, you cannot. You
can't you? I thought I checked their store page.
They announced the day that you can pre-order it.
Oh, okay, August something. Okay, August 3rd was it?
So that was why they made people mad. They thought people thought they were going to have to go into the pre-order this morning, and they were announcing when.
Yeah, but like whatever, it's 1 week.
Up.
Who cares? My main complaint is that like the system's $200, which is on par with their other systems.
It's reasonable.
Except for the NT Mini, that one's way over the top. But like the other stuff is basically $200. What bothers me is that the main thing I care about, I don't give a damn about the handheld system. I want to be able to do video out because that's how I play games. So I want to hook it up to the TV.
Sure.
The dock that you can hook it up to do that is an additional $100. And then there
should be $50.
Yeah, and there are adapters for like the Game Gear, the Neo Geo. It's $30 per adapter. So like I'm fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm likewise out. I'm into the Mister now, and I don't think I'm going to want to play most things portably now. So and
except for the Switch, where the whole reason you own it is for portability.
Yeah, but that's for current games. I mean, this is all for older stuff, and like if I'm going to be playing older stuff, most of the time I'm going to be playing it at home. I'm out on this one. I can see why you would want it because it's cool.
Well, I mean, like
for
just
sure.
the idea that you can play Neo Geo Pocket Color games and Lynx games with video out, that's wild. But like it's
Yeah.
not worth that price for me.
Well, that's what I was going to get at. The Mister platform is open source, and they'll soon have links and Neo Geo Pocket
Would
Color.
not
It's
be
inevitable.
surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, it's inevitable. And though that platform is open source, so like it's constantly getting updates from the community and will continue to until people
Yeah.
get bored of developing for it. Where this is a closed platform, when they've hit their limit on updates, they'll just stop doing it. And the other thing is that they are including a second chip, a second FPGA chip for fan development, but it's going to be a closed platform. You have to like submit and develop it just for them. It's like a closed, like nobody can add to your work on it. It's not open source. So people were criticizing it for that because why do that if you could just easily get a Mister, for around the same amount of money, but like get everything else that a Mister can
That's
do.
the thing. Yeah, like a Mister
Yeah.
is like what, $400 for everything, and this is like $300 for the analog pocket. Like,
And it can even emulate PC platforms now. Like
yeah,
it's crazy, and sooner or later you'll see things like the PlayStation on it. So,
yeah, yeah.
like the Mister is the wave of the future. I mean, you can get everything necessary to play things on a Mister. Like if you want a fully loaded one, it's going to be like 350 to 400. But like if you just want like a bare bones one, you could get away with a $250 build.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean that's what's so great about it. But yeah, it's not for me as of now because I have a competitor that's better, if in my eyes.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like if you want to play your Game Boy Advance games, especially, this looks like a great option for it, for sure. Moving on from that, I kept forgetting to mention this like for the past couple weeks, but Sega announced an Astro City Mini. Astro City is their
It's a
was
comic book
their
series.
no, but yes, Kurt Busiek, yes, and Alex Ross, no.
Yeah. Oh
But
man, is it Alex Ross or ever like this?
yeah,
That
it's
art
the most
stands
Alex
out.
Ross. But Astro City was their line of arcade cabinets. When you go to Japan and play like old arcade machines, chances are they're most likely like a Sega Astro City. They're extremely common. They're generic candy cabs is what they're called, and so they're very iconic. They made the best arcade cabinets back in the day. They didn't have like proprietary arcade cabinets in Japan like we do with our arcade machines. They had like one size fits all. You
Yeah.
swap out the boards. But what's really cool is this is going to be a Japanese exclusive for now. They haven't announced it for the United States, but the games that they announced for it are fantastic.
Yeah.
So apparently, there are going to be 36 games on it.
Which, like, no matter what they are, that's
36
pretty radical.
is a lot. Yeah, a lot because they like Sega in that era. That it's going to be a good chunk of all the ones
Yeah.
for sure. And they're putting real arcade parts in this thing, and it also has USB ports, so you can do a controller. It's going to have HDMI out, just like any other mini system lately. But the games on this are like things that have never gotten ported. So
Yeah, this is like before you
crazy
even
stuff.
say what the games are. Like, this is like I've never done this before. Like, I've imported video games, but I've never imported stuff like this. Like I know you went and you were chasing like the Darius stuff because they had that weird
Oh, yeah.
Japanese Amazon exclusive stuff. This is like the first time I really might consider importing something like this.
This is the first time that I'm thinking about buying a mini console other than the SNES one.
Yeah.
When that came out, I really wanted that Star Fox, but then it came out in other versions, so I got rid of it.
Yeah.
But I haven't bought one or even wanted one since then, but this one I definitely want for many reasons. So there are going to be 36 games on it. They have released the first 10, and they are almost all bangers. Yeah. Alien Syndrome, which is their above head, kind of like Smash TV-ish game. You have
that one I'm not as big on, but then again, I've only really seen it on like the Master System or Genesis or whatever. So to be fair, that's not going to be arcade quality.
It's the arcade version. Yeah, this is the arcade version, the best version. Alien Storm, which is a fantastic game.
That's pretty great. It's a stupid make fun of itself, like we know what we're doing, beat 'em up.
It's basically almost like a semi-spiritual successor to Golden Axe, but like
I just love that one level where you're running and you make those impossible jumps.
It's very clearly like built on the same engine and with the same team or whatever. But like the arcade version, I don't think has ever been ported. I think only the Genesis version ever gets passed around. So I think you just have to play MAME. So this is like really, really cool that they're putting this version. The arcade version of Golden Axe, which hasn't had a port since Xbox 360.
But speaking of never getting ported, by the way, the next one.
Yeah, Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder, which has never come home ever.
Yeah, that's been an arcade cabinet, and that is it.
Yeah. Also, one of the best beat 'em ups ever made. It's
easily the best Golden Axe, like just without question.
I don't know, Beast Rider.
But just that 3 or 4 person team attack where you just like pile drive a motherfucker.
Also, like the fully powered up magic is beautiful. It's just beautiful.
That is one thing I will give a shout out to Golden Axe 3 for on the Genesis. Team Magic is pretty rad.
Golden Axe 3 has gotten a bad rap over the years from people I assume didn't play it for very long.
The game like fucking didn't exist until like PS2. It was like a Sega Channel game. Like, what do you want? That game didn't have a chance.
Yeah. Columns 2, which you can get on Switch now, I'm less excited about that one. But Dark Edge, this is a weirdo one-on-one fighting game. It's like behind the shoulder fighting system.
So like
very odd.
Arcade Punch-Out?
Kind of, but like you got to look at the perspective. You're like behind the shoulder, looking out to an opponent in the distance. Like it's
weird.
It's wild, and it's sprite based. It's not 3D, so it's wild. This has never gotten a port. It's a very obscure game, and it looks cool. So I'm very excited about that. Tant-R, which is one of those Bonanza Brother mini games, which is actually pretty fun. The original Virtua Fighter, which is awesome.
Yeah, that game, I haven't seen that game since like the 32X. Like, has that been... Yeah. Was it on the Saturn?
PS2.
PS2
was the last time.
Weird, alright.
Yeah, it was included with Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution.
Oh, I think you told me this before and I flaked. Alright.
Yeah, but like... it shouldn't be overlooked. Virtua Fighter 2... Game. Virtua Fighter 2 is the better game, but Virtua Fighter 1... especially for pioneering 3D fighting games, is still a fun game.
And I don't know if it was the first one to do this, but it's certainly the only, like the earliest mainstream one I can think of, where you have ring outs.
Yeah, I think so. It's the first one to be in 3D to have. It might be the first 3D fighter in general. There were ring outs in other fighting titles before.
Okay.
I think one of the King of Fighters games has a ring out, where you can kick somebody into the water.
Really?
Or I think Art of Fighting has something like that.
Okay. Well, there's no ring though. Art of Fighting, you just beat people's asses. Maybe, like, I don't know.
I'm sure there are other games, like I'm sure there's a sumo wrestler game that has
that's true. Yeah, probably.
There's 2D games with ring outs.
Yeah.
Before this, but You are correct. Probably, it's the first game where it's a major part of playing the game.
Yeah, it's certainly. And not only that, I remember. I don't know about the arcade, but I remember watching like my brother's like elementary or middle school friend or whatever back in the day. He had it on the 32X, and you could like do custom ring sizes. So you could have this tiny ring, and then just whoever gets lucky and jump kicks first just wins because the other person goes flying out of the ring.
There's also Fantasy Zone, which is a fantastic game. I love Fantasy Zone.
It is, but I fucking had enough. It's been in like every fucking Yakuza game.
Well, yeah, but
it's a quality game though.
Alter Beast, which is not a quality game, but it's fun.
It's interesting. It's worth taking a look at the Sega Genesis version and the arcade version. The arcade version is more detailed and has a silly ending, whereas the Genesis version is a bit lower quality in terms of presentation, but it has an additional level, kind of like Golden Axe did.
Yeah.
And has like a plays it straight ending.
Yeah, kind of like Golden Axe does.
Yeah, that's true. The arcade Golden Axe also is goofy, but the Genesis version has an extra level, an extra boss, and a play it straight ending.
And 26 more games after that, so I'm sold on the first 10.
Yeah, honestly, that's a quality lineup, and we're not even a third of the way in.
They are also selling controllers that are done in the Astro City style that are 6-button as well.
Okay.
If you want to buy additional controllers, but I think like just any USB controller will do really.
You know what? Here's a question. There isn't any chance that Denshi Cop is Sega, is there?
Denshi Cop is IREM.
Do you think they could be on here anyway?
No.
I want to see. I want Denshi Cop real bad.
Yeah, that's an IREM game. You would probably see that on Arcade Archives because maybe it's IREM secret titles from that era.
Well, maybe it's a secret unlock in Disaster Report 4 for no reason.
No, I mean Arcade Archives has put out Image Fight recently and some of the games from that era. So I would not be surprised if they did like R-Type Leo, which is one of the titles that's very rarely been ported.
When are they going to release Arabian Fight with their giant fuck-off sprites?
That is a possibility. So that's a Sega game. So that is a possibility.
Arabian Fight would be like, really?
Oh, I actually hope, because that game's never
weird.
Been ported.
Like, we just got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird looking game, but that's why I like it. So I'm really excited for this, and I normally am not excited for this kind of thing.
Well, you didn't jump on the Capcom Arcade Collection, which was the word Capcom was the console.
Oh god. Well, apparently the build was actually pretty good, but it's just awkward, also the emulation's okay. You know, it's like one of those things, and
it's cool that you can get Alien vs Predator, I guess.
Yeah, it was super expensive. This is actually going to be a reasonable price. The mini is going to be $120.
That's for 36 arcade games. Yeah.
For this thing with our arcade quality buttons and all that stuff. So
I can't wait to Wise from my Gwave.
Can't wait.
I can't wait to beat level 4 and then be like, oh, this is where the game ends in the arcade.
Some quick other news here. We have to wrap up, but I do want to throw this out there. There was a gigantic Nintendo leak, like way bigger than the other ones that have happened recently.
Yeah, this was significant.
So I actually don't like these because these have actually been acquired by hackers. Like, people have been hacking into like official Nintendo sources and stealing this stuff, and that's not cool. I'm all for like hacking into publicly available things, like, you know, and finding things, you know, that were buried in code and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like in like Resident Evil 2's demo disc. If you use an action replay, you see all sorts of shit.
I'm all for that, but you know, if it was put out by the creator, sure. But this is just like straight up theft.
Yep.
But they found a gigantic repository of I think every official Nintendo ROM. Like Nintendo's like master copies of every ROM for the Nintendo. And that it also included an unreleased game called Hit the Ice, which has a prototype version out there that isn't complete. They have a full version of it on here, and it's like it's a hockey RPG, which is
What?
pretty cool. But in it, in this dump, there's tons of other stuff, including Super Mario World beta, which has a weird looking Yoshi.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, weird ass looking Yoshi. Star Fox 2 beta that played more like Star Fox 1, without the planning and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I took notes on this, but there was a major thing about Pokemon in there. I think they found the source code for the DS games, which is insanity. The source code, so all kinds of hacks are going to be. Yeah, let me see here. Source code to Star Fox. Source code for Star Fox 2. Source code for Link's Awakening DX. Wow, huge thing. Source code for Yoshi's Island. Source code for Mario Kart, F-Zero, Link to the Past. That's huge. You can expect all kinds of hacks to come out because of that. Source code. This is stuff that they use to program the game. You won't need to hack the game anymore. You have the source code. Super Mario All-Stars. Let me see here. Wow. Yeah. Full development repository, not just the source code. The full development repository for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which is the DS games, I think, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, but a full master ROM database for Famicom and NES. Yeah, just crazy stuff. Several Super Mario World 2 prototypes for the Yoshi's Island. One that was even named Super Mario Brothers 5. Yeah, just crazy stuff. But yeah, it happened though. So there's some interesting stuff. And you had something about the GDQ stuff going on, right?
Yeah, see, I figured it was going to be canceled because you can't do the point of the GDQ, which is get everybody together in some hotel room or something, or
convention hall,
the big room of a convention hall. But no, SGDQ would normally have been in probably June, but it's going to happen after all on August 16th through the 23rd. It'll be online only. I'm hoping that they can get it so it's not like when people stream directly and have their capture footage be the stream. This is a little weird to say because I do the way I stream something is my capture footage is on. How else do I stream something? But I mute my computer so I hear my TV and I'm talking into the mic, so my voice corresponds to the game audio. But if anybody talks to me in the chat, I see it immediately. And if I respond immediately, they're not going to hear it for a long time. But what I've seen on a lot of uploads of streams is people will be on Discord or whatever streaming their game, so the person who's talking to them on the chat is going to have a little bit of the delay, so you're going to hear the streamer go oh no, I died, and then a second later they'll die. I'm hoping that for GDQ they'll have things be more synced up. I don't know how they would do that if it's going to be online only and everyone's going to use their own stuff.
The uncompressed capture stuff tends to be delayed. So.
Yeah, so we'll see how it works. But either way, I'm very excited for just 7 straight days of speedruns again. I mean, they still upload stuff to their YouTube channel when they're doing other events on Twitch and things like that, but I'm just happy that they're doing the big event again. So I'm quite excited that we still get to have it.
They always have the best causes that they're fighting for. So
yeah, they've been doing Doctors Without Borders for quite some time, and they've been raising $2-3 million per event for them lately. So that was the thing. Like, I was hoping it wasn't cancels because, like, there goes $2 or $3 million worth of donations to this cause, right? But, like, now the event's back, so looks like we're back in business.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had some kind of coronavirus relief because they would certainly, that would be in their wheelhouse.
Yeah, I don't know what their donation causes this time. I mean, I'm sure, like, if the thing is in, like, 2 weeks, I'm sure it's extremely easy to look up. I just haven't looked it up yet.
Sure. And always a good cause, though.
Yes.
Just real quick, Sparkster Rocket Knight Adventures is getting a vinyl release. I was super excited about that. I'm probably the only one.
Yeah.
But I wanted to quickly announce that. And the Sonic 2 movie is going to be out in April 2022. You better get your tickets ready.
Shouldn't it be in February 2022?
2222.
That's correct. Shouldn't it be out in 200 more years? 2222.
And just one last thing. Happy birthday to one of my favorites, Bugs Bunny. 80th birthday today. Or,
Ain't he a stinker?
This week. Big chungus.
He shouldn't have taken that wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. I love Bugs Bunny. Definitely look up What's Opera Doc. One of the best things ever.
That is just, that's one of the most iconic
Sublime.
ones.
I think you're that much sweeter. I'll be your little senorita. You're my kind of guy.
That's the thing. Like, it's called Looney Tunes, Tunes, but, like, I wonder how many people remember how musical those old cartoons were.
Well, they used to use the scores from the Warner Brothers movies at the time. That was like the whole point.
Oh, and do you remember that super classic one? I forgot who did this. Maybe it was Bugs Bunny, but you know that oh no, I forgot the name of the music, but that barbershop, that
yeah, Barber Seville.
Barber Seville, thank you. Yeah, that one. That's a
Rabbit
classic.
of Seville. Yeah. No, that one's really great too. That's all part of like that suite of like What's Opera Doc kind of stuff that he was in. Mel Blanc is probably the best voice actor of all time. Like, just amazing.
Mel Blanc, I loved you in the Phantom Toll Booth.
I loved you in Flintstones.
I loved you in Strange Brew for, like, an off-camera voiceover. Yeah.
Strange Brew.
I've never actually seen the movie.
It's kind of hard to track down.
I mean, I saw a review of it on Red Letter Media, but apparently the story with Mel Blanc is they wanted to have him on, and his agent or whatever told him how much it would cost, and they were like, and the producer of the movie was like, that's way out of our league, we're not doing that. And then apparently the guys who wanted to get Mel Blanc tried to argue that, oh, no, that's how much it would cost for the entire time, not for a day. And then they just got Mel Blanc to, like, rattle off some lines in, like, an hour. And then, like, paid him for that. They're like, oh, good enough.
He was fantastic. I think it was Billy West, who is one of our best living voice actors around.
Billy West, I love you in that he does exist, they do exist commercial.
He's the Red M&M, yes,
yep.
and Ren and Stimpy.
I don't know, I never met the guy.
But most famously, Fry.
Fry on
Futurama. He stated that, I think it was him, that Mel Blanc did something that like no other voice actor really has ever able to really do other than him.
Well, given actual different voices where you can't tell it's him every time, and he's done like 30 of them. It's not even like, oh, I could tell it's that actor. Like, you can't tell.
Not only that, they're all distinct.
Yeah.
But he did one particular Looney Tune where he had, Bugs Bunny fighting Daffy Duck. That's normal. But he did the voice of Bugs Bunny imitating Daffy Duck.
Oh, that's
the opposite. So he it sounded like it.
Doing a voice, yeah.
Yes, and
that's
he's like,
brutal.
Nobody alive it can do that. Billy West said he's
convincingly, yeah.
I can't do Fry's voice imitating Ren and Stimpy. Like he can't like he's like I can't do it. Like
that's brutally difficult.
But he clearly sounds like Bugs Bunny doing a Daffy Duck impression, and
that's
and
crazy.
vice versa. Yeah, it's bananas. I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, if anybody had any doubt as to, who was the best...
Yeah, what a legend.
It was him. He pioneered it and perfected it.
Like, it's insane to me that, like, Bugs Bunny is Porky, is Sylvester, is Daffy, is Elmer. Like, they're not even close.
Yeah. Oh, and extra points to you if you can guess who was the original Looney Tune.
The very first Looney Tune ever?
Yeah, who was the first Looney Tune character?
Oh, wow. I'm going to say either Daffy or Yosemite Sam.
No, it's actually Porky. That's why he does
Porky.
It's All
that's
Folks.
why he does That's All Folks?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's the original Looney Tune.
Oh, fair enough.
So Bugs didn't come along until later.
Okay.
But just wanted to throw that out there.
Huh.
And that'll have to be the show. Jeez,
yes.
Man. But we had a lot of stuff to go over. You can't blame us. Please remember to subscribe to the Corrective Consciousness YouTube and Soundcloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. Helps promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Thursday for our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, the podcast where we explore the inanity of pop culture. Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on pretty much everything.
You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you're interested in seeing my YouTube videos early, getting in on exclusive live streams, selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, or getting in conversations with me and other patrons on Discord, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/LotusPrince.
All right, everybody. We'll catch everybody on Thursday for another installment of our profile on the Castlevania series. We'll catch you then.
Until next time, everyone.
Bye-bye.